All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is the brother Hamayan from the Richmond camp here in Virginia. Wanted to present another lesson. But first and foremost, I want to acknowledge my power and give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Next, double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach the 100% truth according to the Bible. Peace, blessings, and safety to the hopeful elect, to the Arkham, who continue to preach this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. I want to say Shalom. Also want to acknowledge the Richmond camp, my elders Karab, my elder Metathiah, as well as the brother Ara, for continuing to teach me the 100% truth and assisting me in this truth. Salaki. Want to be able to bring out a lesson today titled "Feminism Has Corrupted the Mind of the Negro Woman." And I just wanted to have a few scriptures that would support the lesson. Wanted to start off in the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3 through 5. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3 through 5. Verse 3 in the KJV says, "For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil." Verse 4 of Proverbs 5 says, in KJV says, "But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword." Verse 5 says, "Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell." And this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3 in the NLT. It says, "For the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey. Her mouth is smoother than oil." Verse 4 in the NLT says, "But in the end she is as bitter as poison, as dangerous as a double-edged sword." Verse 5 says, "Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave." And these are again for you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, for you women that are who are in this situation. It just lets you know that your lips are smooth as honey. Meaning that you have a cunningness and a mindset that will attract men, but not only attract but beguile them. And you also have lies coming from that mouth and other acts that you commit, and it's a bitter poison, something you have probably been doing for a while, and it's as a two-edged sword. There's no side that's better than the other, because you have a manipulation tactics as well, and also that it can lead you to the grave. If your actions can lead to destruction rather. So as explained in verse 5 of Proverbs chapter 5. I want to also check and look into another verse of the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 26. It says in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 26, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands, whose pleaseth Yahweh. Whoso pleaseth Yahweh shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26 in the NLT says, I discovered that a seductive woman is a trap more bitter than death. Her passion is a snare. And her passion is a snare, and her soft hands are chains. Those who are pleasing to Yahweh will escape her, but sinners will be caught in her snare. So again, she has a seductive spirit, of seducing. She has committed herself, to the left-hand side that is against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So she's able to draw in men, to her snares, to her traps, through her looks, through how she smells, through body language, And so if you're a man that's not committed or not following Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you will fall under that and ultimately potentially be destroyed. But if you are a man who's following after the Lord, you won't be taken by her, because you've been given that wisdom and knowledge and understanding to help you with this with the situation. I want to also look at the book of 1 Timothy, verse 2 and 14. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 14, and the KJV says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 14 in NLT says, and it was not Adam who was deceived by Satan. The woman was deceived, and sin was the result. And that's correct. When you go into the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 3, he explains the situation of the instructions given to Adam and Eve through the Lord, through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And right here it's saying, it wasn't Adam who committed the sin initially. It was the woman who convinced Adam that it was good to partake of that tree, of good and evil, of that knowledge. And so therefore Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai through that, penalized them for what they've done. But the woman was actually held accountable for her actions. Want to also get a meaning for the word feminism. The word feminism is a belief in and advocacy for social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. It involves organized activity to challenge patriarchal systems, abolish gender discrimination, and secure equal rights, opportunities, and personal autonomy for women and girls. It focuses on leveling the playing field rather than seeking superiority. And again, it was designed to empower women and give them a level playing field with men today, to give them opportunity, to give them, present them in a mindset that it's their body, as they like to say, their body, my body, my choice, and it opened up opportunities for them to say that, they won't no longer stand for certain laws and things of that nature. Want to just close out with the book of the Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 25. It says, the book of Sirach, chapter 26, 25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamed-faced will fear the Lord. And right now, the women today are not fearing the world, not fearing the Lord. You know, they come with a rebellious spirit. They're not. They're real arrogant. You know, and their personality is just of masculinity, and also not having any morals. You know, and so there's no shame in what they do. There's no shame in when they go to twerk on top of a car or in a restaurant. You know, also, you know, the behavior of also having multiple abortions and deleting, you know, future offsprings. You know, so right now, the so-called Native American, Negro, and Latina women that follows these trends. You know, they're not fearing Yahweh Bashim Marashah. So ultimately, they potentially will face destruction from their behavior, from their acts. And so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Shalom.